Shall I start, sir? Well, good morning to one and all, and very happy new year. Okay. Now, today we shall be discussing about organizational buying behavior. Now, before that, we should know what an organization is. What an organization is, see, it's an group of people working together for a common objective. Now, for take an example of a school, we call it as an organization. Why we call it as an organization? Because we have here teachers, non-teaching staff, yeah, and no, a building, a infrastructure, all they come together for an objective. What is that objective? Is to provide education. It may be till 10th standard or it may be till 5th standard or primary or high school. Okay. So they come together to achieve the objective of providing education to, for example, till 10th standard. So we call it as an organization. So likewise, companies with some objective, they come together and they try to achieve that objective or goal or vision or mission, whatever you say. Okay. So they also need raw materials, isn't it? They also need some raw materials to manufacture and they make it into finished products and then sell into the market. So there would be an input and there would be a process and then the output will be there. So organizations also buy things. So therefore, we have to know how they are behaving, how they buy the products, how they buy the services, all these things. So today we shall discuss about this. Okay, understanding how organizations they make purchases or purchase making decisions, especially in B2B market, business to business markets. Okay, yeah. Now here, what exactly is organizational buying? See, it is the decision-making process. See, there would be no lot of alternatives available. So many suppliers are there in the market. So many service providers are there in the market. So they have to make a decision with the best which suits the organization. The best supplier who is providing them qualitative goods at their convenient time, that is timely supply, okay, and at a low cost, okay, that they will evaluate all the alternatives available from all the suppliers and then the best one they choose. So what they are making a decision. So there that this organizational buying, it refers to decision making process by which formal organizations establish the need for purchase products and services. Then they identify, evaluate, and choose amongst alternative brands and suppliers. See, whatever you or me or the organization, always they think that they need qualitative goods, reasonable price, and at whatever time they want, they should be provided. So organization also thinks about this and they study a many number of suppliers of products and services which they need. Okay, they survey they analyze, they evaluate everything, they weightage, or they take a SWOT analysis, right? Whatever it is, and then the best one, which gives them good qualitative goods at a reasonable price, and whenever they want, they choose it. This is what is organizational buying. So, unlike consumer purchases, organizational buying, they require a systematic evaluation of suppliers, technical specifications, and long-term business implications. See, if I want to buy a tire for myself or a shoe or whatever it is, I just go look into the different brands which fits me better, which I feel that it is very comfortable, a very reasonable price is given, I just buy. So it's like consumer buying, isn't it? It's a consumer behavior. But whereas organizational buying process means, because many people are involved, you have three levels, no? Your middle level, then low level, and then top level, and to which level the products are to be bought. Okay, is it just the tools like no spare parts and all? It is for the low level people, so that they can work in the machine with the machinery and produce goods. Then that depends, no? If they, those people will be involved, because at the ground reality, which tool will be very beneficial to them. So if you just take their advice also, and middle level, they will be the departmental heads and all. So how much allocation of budget is there for this buying of these tools and all, that approval would be taken from the top managers or top level people, right? So many people are involved in this. So hence a systematic evaluation is done. Okay, evaluation of whom? Of suppliers. As I told you, there are, suppose A, B, C, D, X till X, no? So many suppliers are, they have their own, no, brochures or flexes, and they come to you saying that our product is good. We give you with so much concession. We give a free offer. Whatever, no, with their what I can say is the things that they can provide to the buyers. Okay, they come along with their own agenda, we can say. And then technical specifications also, yeah, which is beneficial, which is safety to them, which is very useful to them. All the technical implications also, or specifications, should also be seen and evaluated. So likewise, law, not just because they are not buying for one time. Yes, they have to continue their business, no, for a longer period. So they see that whether this supplier or this thing would be beneficial to me in the long term or not. So like this, a lot of analysis, a lot of brainstorming of levels is done to buy a product. Okay, so these purchases, they support manufacturing, or sometimes resale, or operational activities, rather than personal consumption. See, when consumers, when I told you, no, I just want to have an attire or a shoe and all, that is I use for myself. So that's a personal consumption. But whereas organizational consumptions, you need a products which would be giving you a long-term benefits, a good qualitative one. A supplier, he should be continued. If he is providing you with all the things, the specifications which you have given him to, and that he is providing you, then you will accept that supplier, right? So like, you can say it's a process. Okay, now what are the main characteristics of organizational buying? See, these are the five very important one: derived demand, geographic concentration, professional purchasing, fewer but larger buyers, and direct distribution. Let us see one after the other. See, derived demand. Yeah. So, the whole economy depends upon demand and supply. These are the two important factors in economics here: the need, the motive, and the availability of products, whether there's a demand, and how the supply should be. All these things, the whole scenario would be basically on demand and supply. Okay, now here, see. Organizational demand stems from consumer demand. See, again, it's we can say directly proportional to consumer demand. Now, for example, if there is a demand for air conditioner, AC, okay, AC compressor, then it depends totally or entirely on consumer demand for finished air conditioning units, isn't it? See, if people are buying more number of air conditions, then there is a demand. Okay, then definitely some time, the duration of their usage of this ACs, there is a problem of compressors also. So then the demand for compressors also increases. So this is a derived demand. So when organizational buying is there, they look into the product whose derived demand is there and how the things you have to buy. That is the first very important thing. Next is geographic concentration. See, industrial buyers cluster in specific zones, especially near raw materials, transport links, and industrial infrastructure, creating economies of scale. See, this is as we all know that where there is a river, there would be a civilization, isn't it? Because water is very important, right? For everything. So therefore, you if you study the history also, wherever you find the rivers, the water flow, and all civilizations appeared. So you take the example of Indus Valley civilization or whatever it is, right? Uh, in the same way, industrials they penetrate, they grow, they are built where in you find raw materials, where you will find a very good infrastructure that is connectivity, like transport, banking, electricity. Nowadays, no Wi-Fi and all these things. So a very good infrastructure, road connectivity, railway connectivity, air connectivity, all these things are there. There, no industries they grow. They what we can say they flourish. Okay. So when one industry is growing there, definitely the other would come up there, and then you have you call it as an industrial area. See, here in Karimnagar, we call it no NTPC and all. The coal is there, and also therefore raw material coal is available there, and hence you have an electricity department industry over there, and geographic concentration is there. Yeah. So likewise, we call it as an industrial area. Many industries have come up because coal is available there, right? So this is a second one, geographic concentration. Now, why they concentrate in the places where raw materials are there, or where there is a transport link, where there are a very good infrastructure? Why? Because to gain economies of scale. Now, what is this economies of scale? Let me give you a simple example. See, if you go to market and if you want 1 kg of tomatoes, and if you ask the seller, they'll say, okay, 10 rupees per kg, right? Now, what you do is you want some benefit, right? So, if you are living in an apartment and all the apartment, they definitely need tomatoes. If there are 5 or 6 households, you need some 6 kgs of it. So, when you tell the seller that you are buying 6 kgs, then definitely they will reduce the price. Okay, they reduce the price to 8. Okay, you are taking 6 kgs, so I'll reduce it to 8 kgs. So 2 rupees are benefited, isn't it? Why? Because he bought more number of tomatoes. Yeah, right? If it is 1 kg only, the seller is saying 10 rupees. And if he is saying that I'll take 6 kgs, he is saying that, okay, it is 8 rupees per kg. So here both are benefited, right? How? See, the consumer who is taking 6 kgs is benefited by 2 rupees. Moreover, he is helping others also in his apartment. And the seller also, he need not sit for hours together to sell the other 5 kgs, isn't it? At a time, he is selling the um, stock he has, isn't it? So this is called as economies of scale. So if all the industries are concentrated in a particular area, The transport cost may be reduced. No, the raw materials can be reduced, right? They are buying for all the units over there. Like that, they can grab the benefits of economies of scale. So, hope you have understood here. Right. Next is professional purchasing. See, trained procurement specialists use formal methods, technical criteria, and systematic evaluation processes rather than emotional factors. See, consumers, they have their own emotions. No, they go, okay, they are in a very good mood at a high cost, also they can bring. But whereas in organizational buying, a professionalism is there. Every people is involved in making decisions because who needs this tool, who are very important, yeah, all these things. So a team would be there to evaluate what products they need, what raw materials they need, which transport they have to take, yeah, what infrastructure they have, yeah, all these things, calculations are done in a very systematic way, technique, no, taking every factor into consideration, the method of procuring, the method of no getting the things through which transport criteria, which transport link, and all these things. So therefore, emotions are not important here. They are involved as a team here. It's for the organization, and they have to run this organization for a long period. So therefore, they choose professional, procured, trained specialist. So professionalism is coming. Therefore, a perfect decision can be made with whom you have to take the raw materials. That is, the supplier can be decided through a professionalism. Okay, right. Next is fewer but larger buyers. The number of organizational buyers is small compared to consumers. So, industries are less, but population is more. So, individual consumers are more in number, whereas number of institutions, number of organizations are few. So, therefore, organizational buyers are very few. But remember here, purchase volumes and values, they are very, 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 very high. See, I can spend, suppose if my salary is 2 lakhs, my capacity of spending is up to 2 lakhs, isn't it? But whereas an organization which is running in lakhs and crores, their capacity would be to that extent, isn't it? So though they are very few, but their purchase volumes are very high. They buy in large numbers, especially to gain the benefits of economies of scale. That is the fourth very important characteristics we can say in organizational buying. Next is direct distribution. See, organizations would typically they purchase directly from manufacturers or through distribution channels, enabling closer supply relationship. See, if you go daily to a kirana shop in your neighborhood, you will develop a relationship. So he immediately knows. See, if you're coming to that shop early in the morning, he'll definitely ask you, is it for milkman or toothpaste? Isn't it? Because he knows, he develops a relationship. If you're going now somewhere between afternoon or in the evening, then he'll ask, okay, I've come for the snacks, okay, then take this and all. He'll tell you which brand is available and all. So that type of rapport you develop when you have gone for many number of times to a particular your shop, you can say. Okay, so in the same way, organizations know what they specially do is once they are acquainted with a particular supplier, then they will try to buy from that supplier because a relationship develops. And moreover, if he doesn't supply good qualitative, they can instruct them also that okay, this time this is happening, so we may reduce the price and you have to supply good quality in the coming futures. That negotiation can be done because they have built a relationship with them. Okay, so this is what is happening in organizational buying. Okay. Yeah, let us see the difference between this individual buying behavior and organizational behavior. See, you and me are consumer buyers. Whereas this no Reliance company or Tata company, they are the organizational buyers. See, number one, direct demand based on personal needs. Yeah. If I feel like I have to have a new dress on my birthday, that is my direct demand, right? I go and buy. So that is the consumer's buying behavior. Whereas organizational buyers derive the demand from end markets, as we have seen the example of this air conditions. If they are more, if their sales are going more, there is a possibility of compressors also be the demand for compressors will also be more. So it depends upon the end market, right? Like no tea and coffee, like this. Next, individual or informal group decisions. See, if I want, I can go and take the dress on myself, or if I can take the suggestion of my spouse or my child or my sister or my brother and all. But it is all informal. You need not have a systematic process of evaluating. No, which shop is giving the best dress, where to go, and all this. That doesn't happen. It's always an informal thing in consumer buying behavior. But whereas in organizational behavior, as I told you in the beginning, that there would be a professionalism, there would be a formal group discussions, there would be a brainstorming, as you see in the picture, a boardroom. They are discussing about no, what raw materials are needed, how much do we need, who is supplying this, which supplier is good, whether is if he's providing good quality but more price, they will drop. The other, they look for the one who is giving them a little lesser and a good quality, they go for it. So like that, a lot of no, brainstorming would be done for buying products or raw materials for the organizations. When you look into this consumer behavior, see, most of the thing is related with their emotion and their impulsive buying behavior. Okay, their purchasing behavior, emotions are there. And as I told you, no, birthday, I need to have a new dress. That's an emotion, right? So that is impulsive. But in case of organizational, emotions are not involved. Rather, a rational criteria-based evaluation is done. Yeah. Mm, like no, very rational. Who is supplying it? There are no emotions involved. See, we need to send these products in by the month of January ending. Then we are supposed to have these raw materials. Who are the suppliers available? Who are giving us good quality? Who are giving us great price? And who are providing us when we are needed? They have a criteria-based evaluation, sort analysis is done, and they go for buying. Now here lower financial risk per transaction is there. Yeah, if I'm buying a dress for 1,000, but when I have seen in the same dress in the other shop, it is that they are providing is for 800 only. There's a risk of only 200 in the case of consumer behavior. They are individual buyer. Whereas in organizational, if they have not done properly, the systematic professionalism is not used in evaluating who the supplier is, from whom they have to get their raw materials. Possibility of high risk, isn't it? Financial risk and even operational risk also. So they have seen when they just want to go for another supplier, and you have sample he has provided. The sample he has provided is of very good quality, and the rate also is very reasonable. Then you just order it, just pass the tender, he gets it. But when you have seen it, that the sample they have shown is different from the raw materials he has given you in original, then you cannot send it back. You can stop that supplier, that is another instance, but by the time no you are supposed to make the products here, you have to process this input and get into finished goods. You are at a high risk of finance. You paid him, so it may be in lakhs or sometimes in crores, right? So that is there. And when you make a product of such a material and you send it into the market, there is an operational risk also. Consumers may not buy your product. So there's high risk involved in this. Okay. Next is geographically dispersed. Consumers all over India, all over world are your consumers. But whereas organizational buyers, they are concentrated in specific zones. You call them as industrial zones. So sometimes, no, special economic zones. Yeah, they are concentrated to some areas. So we say no, Noida, Bangalore, and all for high tech industries. So they are geographically concentrated. Limited supplier interaction is there in case of consumer behaviors, and whereas in organizational behavior, long-term supplier relationships will be there. Okay. Next, quick decision making process in case of consumer, because it is you who has to decide, or sometimes you take the help of peer group or somebody you know who bought that group, and then take the advice and immediately you buy the product. Whereas in organizational behavior, you need a boardroom, a meeting, an agenda, and all no list of suppliers, and calculation, and evaluation, and then approval process would be there. Board has to approve, and then the top manager or CEO has to approve, and then they go for the supply. So there's a lot of official work must be done. So it takes time. So that is what is organizational buying behavior. So whilst consumer purchases, they tend to be spontaneous and emotionally driven, organizational buying, they follow structural procedures. There would be SOPs with some multiple stakeholders, technical specialist, yeah, specifications, and formal approval requirements. So the stakes, they are considerably very high. Or as poor purchasing decisions, they directly impact product quality, cost, and even competitive position, as I told you in the beginning. Okay. Now, here we do have different types of organizational buyers, like industrial buyers, then institutional buyers, intermediate buyers, and government buyers. Now, who are these? Let us see. Industrial buyers, manufacturers and producers who purchase raw materials, machinery, components, and services to produce finished goods for consumer markets. We call them as industrial buyers. In simple terms, where you need input which has to be processed and then the output comes. That is, input here are raw materials, machinery, some components, all these things. You bring together, you process it, and then finished good comes. Now, for example, sugarcane, sugar industry. What are the raw material for this? You need is sugarcane and some machinery, some tools, some equipments, no, some chemicals, all these things you need. You're bringing together and you're processing it, and then the output is sugar. And this type of buyers who is buying sugar cane, we call it as, because they are buying for a sugar industry, isn't it? So we call them as industrial buyers, and their focus definitely would be on quality, on reliability, and they also see cost effectiveness. These are the basic things they see. Because see, if the raw material is of good quality, sugar would be of good quality, right? Uh, that is what. When you have flour, the roti you make would be of good quality, isn't it? So therefore, at the very first level, deciding the raw material, the supplier there only needs a lot of evaluation, lot of analysis, right? Okay, that is industrial buyers. Now, who are institutional buyers? These are non-profit organizations, no, like hospitals, universities, look like charity organizations, no, like Lions Club, like that. And some clubs are also there. They are all non-profit organizations. We sometimes call them as NGOs also. Excuse me. Now, they privatize what value for money and accountability to donors whilst serving beneficiaries efficiently. Well, they are not on a mood of getting profits. Their main intention, their main objectives to benefit the consumers to a larger extent. In second terms, and in other terms, we can call it as providing them service, right? So what they do is they don't think about more profits and more profits. They think about the value for money. Yeah, yeah, I'm paying this much. Do I get this much services? Yeah, they value for money and their accountability to their donors while serving some beneficiaries things to them. Okay. Now, intermediate buyers. So name itself is saying these are the people like wholesalers, retailers, distributors, or resellers who purchase goods for again resale or sometimes redistribution. They focus more on profit margin, not like institutional buyers. Their focus would be on profit because they buy at a particular rate and they want to sell it with some profit margin, isn't it? So therefore, they think about profit. They focus on profit margins, turnover rates, and meeting consumers end demands. Okay, end consumer demands. So these are the intermediate. They are not, that is, you can say, a link between industry and consumers. They are called intermediate buyers. Okay, then the name itself is saying government buyers, the public sector organizations. They are procuring some goods and services through formal tender processes, and they follow strict regulations. Whatever the proceedings of the government are there, whether it is state government or central government, whatever the GOs are being passed in buying particular product. Okay. And for example, if we government organizations want to buy computer systems, there is a process. You have to apply for your higher officials. You have to buy from CTC. What they are done, supplier they give only, you have to approach them and then buy. So there is a formal regulation, strict regulation you have to obey for. Okay. And there are some budget constraints also. So if you say that, yeah, this is the budget provided, and into that budget only your products should fit, and then you have to buy. But yeah, I've seen the other supplier providing you very good quality, but it is beyond budget, then you cannot buy because government has ordered you to buy from that particular supplier itself. So budget constraints would be there and transparency requirements are there. Yeah, the pi pie you're using, then it should be audited. So there's lot of transparency regulations are there. So these people they are called as government buyers. Okay. Now, what are the main factors influencing organizational buying decisions? See, we have at the top is individual factors, followed by interpersonal dynamics, organizational variables, and then environmental forces. See, any organizational buying decisions, there's a lot of forces acting on it. So you can call it as a very complex process also. Oh, yeah, because many people are involved. Right. Let us see. See, complex interplay of multiple forces operating at different levels. See, environmental factors are there, like external environment. No, like economic environment, the political environment, wherein government policies would be there. Then you have the demographic one, like technological environment. All these things are there. They are interplay of, you can say, multiple operating multiple forces, right? See, organizational structures, again, they differ. You have three levels, so you have different line and staff structure, you have some formal and informal organizational structure, you have a metric system or composite ones, lot of things are there. Then the policies of the organization, that also would be affect. The objectives of the organization also would be there. A lot of formal frameworks, then interpersonal dynamics with buying centers. They may introduce some negotiation, or sometimes a power play would also be there. The MLAs and MPs would be involved in some organizational buying. Okay. Finally, individual decision makers, they bring personal biases, experiences, and motivations that influences the choices. Well, let us see. So what I mean to say here is organizational buying behavior or buying decisions, it's very complex because many people are involved. See, people of top level, people of middle level, people of low level are involved, and their thinking process is different, their perceiving things are different, the way they look into the other the environments differ. Okay, so everything is involved here, right? Let us begin with environmental forces, the economic conditions of the country itself. Okay. Now, when during Corona period, was there economic growing? No, they were all stagnant. There's no manufacturing. All industries were closed, isn't it? So, is there a question of buying some raw materials from any supplier? No. What has influenced? The external environment. What is that external environment? Yeah, growth of Corona. Yeah, a pandemic, right? So that is it. So, and even economic conditions. Economic conditions, no, if the demand is less, then the supply would be less, there wouldn't be any manufacturing. If see, yeah, technology has grown, so people are leaving, losing their jobs, pink slips are given. That is the effect of technology. Some regulations by the government from where to buy and all, what procedures have to be followed. Okay, then competition. No, even the competitors. Who are your competitors? A giant competitor, definitely a big fish will eat the small fish, and then that middle small fish again eats a very very small fish. That happens, isn't it? So a competition. So these are all the environmental forces which you have to keep in mind if you are selecting a supplier for your manufacturing process. Next is organizational variables. Now, within the organization also, they have some vision, they have some mission objective, mission statements, they have some objectives, they have some policies, they have some structures, whether it is decentralized organization or it is a central organization, whether it is a delegation of authority, then whom you have to call, with whom you have to discuss. All these things would be there. So organizational forces are also there in deciding a particular supplier. Then you have interpersonal dynamics. Yeah, when you are sitting on a boardroom, a group would be there. There would be a group discussions, and then authority says, "No, you have to obey me because I am the boss. I have the authority to take the decision." It would be like that, or sometimes a perceiveness, and or something. There would be a idea conflict. Oh yeah, there may be some conflict type of to with whom you have to buy all these things. So interpersonal dynamics also affects the buying decision. And then in the ultimate one is who is an organization? A group of people. People again, they have their own individual factors, their personal characteristics. If he's an egoist, if he's sitting in a team, that ego would not go. He will say, yeah, the rabbit eye cats, they have the three legs only, then he'll be in that perception only, right? And his own experience or his own risk tolerance, all these things would be affecting the organizational buying decision, because organization is a group of people and every people is involved, and they have to look into the external environment and the environment internally in their organization, and not only that, the factors related to individuals who are sitting in the boardroom also would affect the organizational buying decisions. Now, main key roles, the buying center here. Yeah. Who are these? See, the buying centers, it involves no all the individuals in making a purchasing decision. Okay. So, understanding who plays which role is very crucial for suppliers, because they have to develop an effective B2B marketing strategies, isn't it? So, multiple individuals may occupy the same role, and one person might fulfill several roles simultaneously, depend on the organization size and purchase complexity. So, it all depends on organization. Okay. So what the supplier would do is he tries to see who is playing which role, and he tries to convince that particular person to buy those raw materials from him, isn't it? And even the persons in the boardroom also, they will also see that who is initiating, who is telling more, showing more alternatives, and who is showing the best alternative and all. Okay. See here, let us see. First one, initiators. Now, these are the people, they recognize the needs and they trigger the purchasing process. See, in case of in a family also, see, if a person wants a laptop, yeah, they initiate, they come to the father and say the importance of a laptop, how it is helpful to him in lesson plan, he's reading his lessons and all. So he tries to ignite to buy that laptop, right? So like that in organizations also, there would be initiators. They recognize the need. This is what we need. This much raw material we need for this month because the demand is this month. Like, so they trigger the purchasing process. So we call them as initiators. Then there are users. They will utilize the product and influence specifications. So when they use the product, they'll tell what are the uses of this product and what specifications can be altered so that it becomes a good one, right? They come to those conclusions. So we call them as users. There are some influencers also, like technical experts who define specifications and criteria. So they say, see, smoothness of the cotton should be like this, then we'll have a good cloth. Okay. And if the sugar cane is of this quality, then we'll get a very good sugar. Now, if the honey is of this quality, then we get a good honey in the market, like that. So technical expertise is given on but every particular thing they want to buy. So they are what? They are influencers in purchasing. Okay, they play that role. We have deciders also. So they are the ultimate deciders. Yeah, they just look into all alternatives, whoever is initiated, who have used, who are influencing all these things. And finally, they make a choice that this is my supplier, Mr. X is my supplier, because he has all the specifications which are given. So we will buy from him. So he decides, the matter ends there. Okay. Next is approvers. These are the people who are authorized to propose actions and expenditure. So these are the people, they say, we have this much allotment, our budget for raw materials this month. So we are supposed to spend this much. Okay, so they are the approvers. Then we have buyers. These are the people who have formal authority to go and negotiate with the supplier and then place the order. So these are the buyers. After approval, they take the permission that letter and they go and negotiate with that particular supplier, and they make a order that this much we do need. Okay, so these are the buyers. Next, we have gatekeepers. Now, who are these? They control information flow to decision makers. So these are the people. See, why we keep gate to our houses? Yeah, the outsiders who are unknown to us should not come to our house. Yeah, and there should be a flow of our people and the other people coming in, the relatives coming in, we going out for shopping and all. That's the reason why we keep gate, isn't it? So here it's we call about no information, flow of information. So these are gatekeepers, which is very essential for the purchasing. That information should come into the boardroom and the others should be stopped over there. So these are the people who will be controlling this information. Okay, we call them as gatekeepers. Yeah, next we have is okay. The three primary buying situations we call them as straight rebuy or modified rebuy or new task. Now, what is this? Straight rebuy. So this is no without any modifications. If you are buying it, you're maintaining it, or routine, you can say, buying a routine recording of who the supplier is and what qualities and all these things. Okay, the purchasing department here they will handle these transactions using approved suppliers list. So the boardroom has given this. These are the suppliers. Talk to them, negotiate with them, and get the things. So they straightly they buy. So this is one. Then is modified rebuy. See, name itself is saying these are the supply, but if there are any changes, he has negotiated and had come back to the boardroom saying that these are the things he is providing us with some concessions and all. Then again, they will modify that approval, and then he goes and buy the product. That is modified rebuy. Whereas new task, this is the first time purchase. Yeah, they need a lot of information to be gathered, and lot of risk is involved. Lot of no trials have to be done. A lot of brainstorming has to be done. They need to study more number of suppliers because they are the first time buyers, isn't it? So we call them as new task. Now, how this organizational buying decision process moves on or goes on? Okay. Number one is problem recognition. See, internal or external stimuli trigger awareness of a need. Now, as I told you, in Corona period, there was no industry running, so there's no question of buying raw materials to convert into finished goods. So this need has not arisen. But after that, need has arisen. So a problem, but whereas no vaccine and all need has arisen for that vaccine. There's a lot of we can say production of vaccines, isn't it? Corona vaccine. So the problem is been recognized, need is recognized, and hence the stimuli is saying that we have to go and manufacture vaccine. So therefore, raw material needed for that vaccine has been bought and then it is made into a vaccine. So problem recognition is the first thing. Second is a need description. So characteristics and quantities refined with stakeholders. So during that, they have studied how many states, which states, no, we find more number of cases. So let us supply them first, right? So like that need description is being done. Next, product specifications, technical requirements detailed by engineering. So product specifications, what is needed, then this much weight, this much length, or whatever needed for that product. Specifications are given. That means how much dose it should be. You call them spiral things. Yeah, that is. How much is to be sent, what must be the temperature in which that vaccine has to be kept, and all these things there. Product specification is given. Then supplier search. So we were thinking about whether we have to take the American vaccine or the Russian vaccine. Then we have came with an indigenous vaccine, isn't it? So supplier search is being done. Identification of potential vendors or suppliers. Then proposed solicitation, that is request submitted to shortlist the suppliers. So who is providing us those suppliers? You have to shortlist, and then you have to select that particular supplier. Then you have to place the order, and then when it is used, you have to see the performance of it, and then you have to evaluate so that you can uh, take again, rebuy that product from the same raw material from the same supplier, and then send into the market. Okay, so this is what is organizational buying process. I have given you an example of corona vaccine. If you take whatever industry, IT industry or banking industry, hotel industry or tourism industry or manufacturing industry or construction industry, whatever, no, all these things they need this, right from problem completion till performance review. Okay. So, what is this organizational buying excellence? First thing is very rational decision making is very important, because you need a lot of systematic procedures, the SOPs to follow through your personal factors which is influencing, so that you can make a final decision. So that is very important. Then buying center dynamics are there, because multiple roles are being done there, like no initiators, users, and all. So you have to address all the concerns of all the stakeholders, take the criteria into consideration, and then go for a selection of a buying center. Then situational complexity is there, whether you have to go for no straight rebuy or modified rebuy or new task. You have to tailor all these things according to your needs, and then make a marketing approach, and then decide the levels of the supplier engagement. Then long-term relationships, if you want to have a successful B2B marketing, then your emphasis should be on trust and reliability, and no, you have to partner with them rather than one-to-one or one-off transactions. Once you have used and stopped and go to another supplier, so that should not be. You have to have a long-term relationships. Okay, so this is all about organizational buying decisions. And we'll move to, yeah, organizational buying situations, how crucial it is. See, understanding how organizations make purchase decision, it's very crucial for effective B2B marketing and procurement management. So different buying situations, they need different approaches, and that also involve no different levels of complexities there. Okay, let us see. Yeah, these are all the no things we have to understand. Again, that is trade rebuy in suppliers focus maintaining quality and service standards, and out suppliers they identify dissatisfaction points, and then they just make some alternatives to break that approved list, and then they go for suppliers list. So the main characteristics here in trade rebuy transaction is routine reordering from approved vendors list. So they go on reorder because already they have an approved list from the board. Then minimal decision making complexities, so they need not brainstorm. Already list is there. They go, they negotiate, place order, and come back. Their focus is more on maintaining whatever existing relationship is there with that supplier. They just maintain it. And common for office suppliers and raw materials. So this straight rebuy is very common for office supplies and raw materials. For example, our college needs registers, no, dusters or digital boards and all. We have a particular list of suppliers. We just go them, place the order, and take. So that's a straight rebuy. Modified rebuy is no here the buyers they seek reorder products but with the alterations and specifications, sometimes pricing, sometimes delivery terms, sometimes order aspects and all. So they make some alterations and then they buy. So this scenario they need some complexities there. They need some brainstorming. It's not like straight rebuys because Linda vendors list is there and there. But here, those lists they have seen, but again, they negotiated and they found that they can modify their order. So modify their raw materials, and then they come with another approved thing, and then that is again placed in the boardroom. Their approval is needed, and they come back. So specification changes are made of the product or cross department involvement, multiple stakeholders beyond purchasing power and all. So this vendor reassessment is done. New task, as I told you, extensive information is needed. They do a lot of research. They collect more data. They analyze and then evaluate that data, and they come with some conclusions. Okay, and multiple stakeholders they are involved here, and a lot of cost is involved, and risk is also there. Formal evaluation stages would be there. Awareness has to be created. Interest has to be, and evaluation is made done, and then it leads to higher cost and longer decision makings. Okay. So there are a lot of models which are coming out for this organizational buying. We shall see this because 4 minutes is there. We cannot take up all this. Tomorrow we shall discuss about this buy grid frame model. Okay. If you have any questions, you can ask.